Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is being filmed on Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. Today we're pulling from the Wild Unknown Tarot cards. So we have the Devil energy, and I definitely feel this. It's like you're tired, and when we were talking about, like they literally said it. If you watch the Passion of the Christ, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's like, they test you, they know you're being tested, so they come in, they try to break you down. So they wait for an opportune moment, like when you're tired, end of the week, and it's just like you feel the weight of it, and it's just like you need rest, and these thoughts come in and they feel like they're real but it's not the reality, and it's like you got to listen to that higher self. I'm still working on this, you know what I mean? Post-traumatic stress energies, like this is 9 years that we've lived in the Maritimes now, still doesn't feel like it's real or we belong, you know what I mean? But it's just like making the most of it, and just, you know what I mean? It's just like just getting through the day, and tomorrow, by God's grace, we start all over again. So don't allow negative shadow energies to come in. There's a lot of motion, there's a lot of change happening. So that's another thing. It's just like there could be a lot of things going on. Like we have a lot of celebrations coming up, like by God's grace, we were talking about that. So for us, with like today is like, I was like, get up early and get the graduation decorations up, because like for myself, I like to have it up for a bit. I don't want to just put it up for like, a day. Like for myself, it's like, let us put it up for like, a week or so beforehand, so that way it's up. We, you know what I mean, you feel the moment, you feel the energy of it, you know what I mean? Grateful, like, it's a big milestone, like, you know what I mean? Like to me, birthdays and certain celebrations like those are celebrations, you know what I mean? So I was just like, put those up, and that way it's done. Like I'm tired, I could have slept in today. I was like, no, just dedicate your time today to get that done. And that's what I did. I was just like, it's putting your heart and soul into it. And I had some thought about it, the color schemes and everything, because it's just like his favorite colors, and you know what I mean? It's just like, high school graduation, you only get one of those in a lifetime, you know what I mean? So it's just like, celebrating all your work and all your effort despite all the garbage that we've been through, you know what I mean? But I feel like it's just like, just because you can't see the change and transformation, it's like, don't feel like you're not making any progress, because some of it is happening under the surface, and it's making you stronger. So when these, storms try to come in, or when you're low vibrational energy, like I was saying, like maybe you're tired, like the week's catching up to you, it's like, don't allow that to misguide you, or those low, like I'm very thankful that I have some core people that I can just go to and be like, I'm having a crap day, can I just freaking vent to you for like 10 minutes, you know what I mean? And they listen and they make me feel better, and I'm just like incredibly grateful for my tribe, because it's just like, even if you have one, be thankful that you have one, because a lot of people are there for false reasons. What is the death card about? Purging people, places, and things that no longer vibe with you. This is one of the cards we've been getting over and over again with the past couple of weeks, which I'm thankful for, you know what I mean? But it's just like temperance, balance in our emotions, and watery situations and emotional situations. So it's just, you know what I mean? Like we were talking about walking, and you're there, like, walking barefoot in the grass, and my son was literally doing that yesterday. It's a little too cold for me, but I feel like that's what they're highlighting is, don't forget to ground yourself. Don't forget in those moments, especially, to keep grounding yourself, because that's when they attack. They try to sit there and be like, oh, this is reality, when it's not. It's just a temporary energy or temporary emotion that you're feeling. Got the Six of Pentacles, so we got this yesterday as well. And I feel like this is like Five of Pentacle energy. And I feel like, you know what I mean? When this kind of, like I said, like post-traumatic stress disorder comes in at like the end of the month, because like, I get triggered sometimes, because that's the timeline where Shane passed away. And it's just like, you don't like logically talk to yourself. This is this is that. And it's like, okay, like it's fine, but it's just like you can't help but feel that way. Like Anastasia has taught us, on TikTok, like lessons have been learned, and that's the big thing. Like I said, maybe growing, it may not look like it's going on the outside of things, but the inside of things, the seedlings that we planted. So we're ripping out what no longer serves us. Like they talk about that in any spiritual book, but whatever is not bearing fruit, they cut them down and throw it in the fire. So these type of emotions, we got to keep working on purging and throwing it in the fire, because it doesn't serve us any longer. This is not, that Five of Pentacle energy is not reality. You know what I mean? And I feel like, remember they were showing the Seven of Swords this week as well, as like some deceit's gonna try and manipulate our energy. Like, you know what I mean? I was like so happy, and then some people made some comments, and I was just like, I was like, really? Like poo pooed on my parade. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I feel like the universe, Yahweh, Yeshua, Divine Creator, Gaia, Mother Earth, whomever you believe in, is going to bless your hands, because our next card is the Mother of Cups. And I feel like that's why they know that. They know that they fill your cup, that you fill others. I look at it kind of reminds me of the dandelion puffs that you get and you make wishes on. And I feel like you kind of answer wishes. This is going back to someone that, expressed their hardships, and I was just like, hey, you know what? And I sent it to them, and it wasn't much, but you know what I mean? It's just like he was saying, like, he was praying to God for help, and it's like that came in. You know what I mean? And I thought that was so beautiful that he shared that, because he didn't have to share that, and I just thought that was very beautiful, because it's just like, you know what I mean? We got to help each other out, It's like, especially right now, things are difficult, and we're doing the best we can, right? I feel like whatever that Six of Pentacle energy is for you, you know what I mean? Like, seeing, making wishes and everything, like we're talking about the puff, but it's just like, answer prayers. I feel like with Judgment, it's like peace is coming into those endeavors. Things that like weigh heavy on your heart. You know what I mean? I feel like also elevating, or like, kind of like when you are in a maze, it can be overwhelming. It can be anxious, because you can't see through it. But that's where they elevate you, so you can see everything. You could see where to turn in corners. You could see where the exit is and find your way. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Enchanted Forest cards, where the white heart, it's a white deer, shows up, and it's going to take you through the forest, and you have no idea what's going to be there. But it's like they will maneuver you so that you will be successful, and you lead out to this new beginning. So, like, as we're doing this, there's 777. So, like, you know what I mean? Seven's all about enlightenment. You know what I mean? And it's like gaining knowledge, a higher perspective. So know that universe is on your side. Like, even though things can feel a certain way, you know what I mean? Like, we want to do certain things, like, especially when, that Queen of Cups energy is like, we want to, celebrate people the way that they should be. And it's like, sometimes that's not always easy. You know what I mean? But when you're able to, you do. Hierophant is that you already have the key to this understanding. You already have the key to these situations. Heavy on your mind is what they're saying. So, you know what I mean? I feel like in the storms, you know what I mean? A minor message, I feel like a crow, and it's like giving you the key to the solution. We always, you read that in the spiritual books, always turn to them. Don't turn to mortals. Turn to them for guidance. Turn to them for help. You know what I mean? Especially when we have things weighing heavy on our heart. Sometimes it's hard to articulate ourselves, because maybe, people hear us and hear what we're saying. So it's like not so easy to, talk about those things or get those things off our chest, So that's where, sorry, itchy throat. This is where, we are blessed with those friendships in our life where they can be our rock in, those conditions. They are your temperance. You know what I mean? They are that grounding force and heavy emotions. So 66 could be significant to you, because we got the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. And for the Six of Cups, I feel like, like they're showing you, like, footed like a deer is what they're saying, but you're growing underneath the surface. And I feel like with, you look at a traditional Six of Cups, they have a person standing, and they have this like tall pillar that's made out of cement, and their cup sits on that. And I feel like that's because you come from such a strong source. They show like that, when they set you by still waters, they restoreth my soul, that you are set near a steady stream, that you will never go thirsty. You will never go hungry. All your needs are met, and more than you desire. They, like, you know what I mean? Like, they always talk about, like, birds don't have storehouses to build up seed or anything like that. Like, we feed the birds, we feed the squirrels, we feed, the crows and stuff like that. Our neighbors aren't fond of it, but I don't really care. I feel like this is a good reminder, again, when they were showing that deceit, or where the shadow is trying to come in. I feel like this is a great reminder, where it's just like, you don't have to fear, because things are turning out for you. Or like if you can look on the past, so for us it's been 9 years, even we weren't sure, it still turned out better than we even imagined. We keep getting this Lovers card. This could also be like, I feel like duality or mirroring. This could be like someone in your life. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a lover. For some of you, you're calling it a lover. This is the time that the Canadian geese are, a lot of them are already here, but returning back to Canada from, the warmer, south. But I feel like mirroring or like loved one being with you by your side, just like a reminder of that connection. When, we always talk about lovers, we think it's a ooh la la kind of relationship, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's like, by your side, mirroring you, having your back. We were talking about this yesterday with the falcons or the hawks there. When the baby birds are flying and they're going a little too low, the parents go underneath and push them up. So that way they can, soar higher. You know what I mean? Or get back higher in the air. And I feel like you don't ever forget that when, like kind of like we're talking about low vibrational energies, you know what I mean, that are coming in. It's like, don't worry, we're going to push you back up. We're going to sit there and bring that energy back higher. You don't have to fret. Last card is the Wheel of Fortune. Things are moving forward. There's the owl. So we were talking about that, watching that shadow energy, but also like this new moon energy, heading into, that I felt like shadow side, like a retrograde kind of energy. I feel like they're saying like full circle moment. This is a major message, but be mindful of that energy heading into the new moon. This is like May 16th into the new moon. And again, I felt like it's like retrograde energy, but I feel like it's like putting your world back together again, or nesting kind of thing. But I feel like putting it back together. Holding strong. They're saying the glue. So maybe you are the glue of situations. They're saying stick together. So 12-12 as I was saying that. So just be mindful of your energies or who you're around and how people are making you feel. You know what I mean? Like, your feelings are valid. Don't let anyone ever tell you your feelings are not valid. But, just be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with at this time, because, like I said, they're trying to find you being vulnerable, and they're going to try and sneak in and tell you things that are not true. Be mindful of that energy, because, I just feel like, that's when a lot of them come to attack, because it's like, you're feeling something and it's like, we'll build on, they're showing like, when someone like a quarterback or someone is throwing the football and you catch it and you have it, and it's like people don't like that. So, or piling on is what they're showing. It's like you have the football, you have something, so maybe that light, that sunshine, we had the sun card, and one little thing comes in, they just find a little crack and they all pile in on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick card pull. May the universe bless you good.